Welcome to Grabisoft Net. Thank you for your donation. クリスティーン・エベラト、ありがとうございます。行きましょ。
まずタイトル画面の時にプレステコントローラーのカーソルを右左下上右左下上と2回繰り返してコマンド入力するんだ。成功のチャイムが鳴ったらそこですかさず三角ボタンを5回×ボタンを9回押してみよう。成功すると再びチャイムが鳴るぞ。するとなんとキャラクター選択画面にスーパーサイヤ人4が出てくるんだ。
勝てるやつなんて一人もいね
え。このスーパーサイヤ人4は登場キャラの中でも最強の強さを誇り、あのスーパーベビーをも倒す強さを持っているんだ。
ちょっとはやるようになってたのか。
必殺技もスピアシュート、熱風火山臭、また10倍カメハメハなど従来の悟空の技をパワーアップさせたものを持っており、まさにこのゲーム中最強と言っていいだろう。
キャラクターたちの動きはモーションキャプチャーと 3D フルポリゴンで作られている。これにより人間により近いリアルな動きを実現した上、悟空やトランクスその他のキャラクターたちの格闘をあらゆる角度から見ることができるんだ。今回の「ドラゴンボール GT」は原作に対して忠実な接近戦と空中戦を再現し、スピーディーでかっこいい技がたくさん。そして自分で技を組み合わせることにより君だけのオリジナルのメテオスマッシュを作ることができるんだ。君の作った技の一つ一つを最高の視点で楽しむことができるぞ。
Hello guys and welcome to my latest video. So in today's video the topic is gonna be quite different from the usual stuff that we see in this channel. Most of the time I make videos about certain games, certain workarounds, certain hacks and stuff like that, and I may share some games or some fixes. But this time around I'm gonna make a different video just to have fun. And I decided to make a video talking about Dragon Ball Final Bout. This specific game is very important to me because it was very iconic in my childhood. I used to play it a lot when I was a kid on my PlayStation 1. So this game was able to create quite fun memories from my childhood. So I decided to make a video about it, and basically how could this game be fixed, because if you guys play this game nowadays in an emulator or anything, or in the real hardware, you might notice that this game is not very good. It didn't age very well, and it feels, mainly the gameplay feels kind of stiff, kind of robotic, kind of a slow movements and stuff like that, making the game maybe unplayable for a lot of people. Also, the character roster is very strange, in my opinion. It's very weird, but we're gonna talk about that. So I'm gonna try to make this video like talking about how to imagine to upgrade this game, make the perfect Dragon Ball game from the PlayStation, from the 32 or 16-bit era, for all that retro 90s consoles. Just, historically, Dragon Ball games up until Fighter C were always pretty shitty, without with some exceptions, such as Budokai Free or Tenkaichi Free, or some couple of games, but most of the Dragon Ball games historically were a piece of shit. But Dragon Ball Final Bout could have been much more than it actually was. So we're gonna talk about how we could improve this game, at least in our imagination. So we're gonna start by talking about these huge companies, huge Japanese companies. We're gonna talk about Bandai and Namco, of course. So Bandai is a very well-known company it was founded in 1950. So you can imagine that in those times, video games were not a thing. They didn't exist yet. So Bandai was mainly a manufacturer of toys. Later on, 5 years later, in 1955, sorry about that, came Namco. So this other Japanese company, Namco, was not a toy company, but rather a company that specializes in in machines that were coin operated, that were mainly used in parks, in such as a place where kids go and use some attractions and stuff like that. So that's how Namco started. We can fast forward to 2006, and that's the year where Bandai and Namco decided to merge, and they fused and they joined forces to make and also publish some great games. So on the other hand, we have another Japanese company, very well known, which was Capcom. Capcom was founded in 1979, and this company mainly produced from the start. They always have been producing video games. So why I'm talking about this Capcom and Bandai and Namco? Because Dragon Ball Final Bout was made by Bandai back in the 90s, in 1996, 1997. So we're gonna talk about in the first half of the video how this game could have been improved in terms of gameplay. So you might obviously already know about Marvel vs. Capcom, SNK vs. Capcom, all those great games. So it could have been a great idea to that Bandai might, I don't know, back in the 90s, talk with Capcom and make a fighting game, a pretty decent and respectable fighting game, instead of making the engine from zero, making the gameplay and all that stuff. Capcom really knew how to do fighting games, and maybe give a hand to Bandai with a very good and stylish Capcom game, by with Dragon Ball theme. That never happened, but it could have been a great experience. And we're gonna see some examples of what could have been, Dragon Ball Final Bout been, if in fact Capcom had helped. So this fusion between Bandai Namco and Capcom might sound a little strange, because there are almost no cases of them working together, but there's actually a game that was made by Namco with the participation, or with the copyrights of the characters and whatnot of Capcom, which is the Namco X Capcom. It's not a fighting game, but it's an RPG, very weird RPG, very obscure, I would say, and it was released only in Japan, so there's no English version or any other version for that case, and it was released in 2005. So this is the only case where I personally know that Namco actually worked with Capcom in some way or another. So we're gonna talk about these gameplay improvements that could have been made, for the Dragon Ball, or very limited gameplay of Dragon Ball Final Bout. So I personally chose those specific games that were released more or less in the same timeline as Dragon Ball Final Bout, so they were very contemporary in terms of launches and stuff like that, which are Rival Schools, for PlayStation 1, also the arcades, and Street Fighter X, or EX, or however you want to call it, that it was released in 1997, the upgraded version. So as you can see in this little, in this little chart or whatever, you can see the different releases date of Dragon Ball, Rival Schools, and Street Fighter. They're pretty similar, so it could have been great if Capcom helped Bandai to make a pretty decent fighter game with all the Capcom great gameplay. So we're gonna see some gameplay. First off, from Rival Schools, you will see that the gameplay feels very fluid, even though it's a 3D fighter. Back in the 90s, most of the 3D fighters, such as, Dragon Ball Final Bout, or maybe Mortal Kombat 4, they look great. I remember when I played when I was a kid, all those games, but honestly they were very, very hard to play, because they didn't felt as good as the sprites games for the Saturn or for the PlayStation Arcade, such as Marvel vs. Capcom or Street Fighter Alpha, or Street Fighter 3. They felt much more fluid, and the gameplay was, obviously, for me, in my opinion, it was superior. So these two 3D games are an exception. Also Tekken 3, but I think Tekken 3 is very slow for these types of games in an anime game. So I think that Rival Schools, here you can see that also some Street Fighter gameplay, that the gameplay is very fluid, even though all the characters are 3D models. They feel pretty fast, pretty dynamic. So I think that these two gameplays could have been very well fitted inside a Dragon Ball game, specifically Dragon Ball Final Bout, you can see. So in terms of gameplay, I would have loved that Capcom could have helped, or could have make some arrangements with Bandai to make a better game in the final version. So that's for the gameplay. That's what I think about how a Final Bout could have been improved. And now we're gonna talk about a little bit about the character roster. So the character roster is very weird, in my opinion, in Dragon Ball Final Bout, because Dragon Ball Final Bout is supposed to be themed after Dragon Ball GT, right? But it doesn't really feel like that in most of the cases of of this character selection. So here I'm showing you the character roster for the with all the unlocked characters, including all the Super Saiyan versions, and Super Saiyan Goku, Super Saiyan 4, and you can see this is all the characters available. Also, there is the final boss, which is Super Baby in terms of, with his Osaru form, but he's obviously not playable unless you use some Game Shark cheats or whatever. So these are the main characters. As you can see, we got the main protagonist of Dragon Ball GT. That's completely fine, which is Pan, Kid Goku base, and Trunks base, and then we got Piccolo, which is acceptable for a Dragon Ball GT game, and adult-based Goku, which I love. All the other characters feel very weird, but we're gonna talk about them. So we got Cell, the classic villains, Cell, Perfect Cell, Boo, Kid Boo, or the pure form, as you want to call it, and Ultimate Phase Frieza. So these three characters are acceptable because they are, the main villains of Dragon Ball, and they also get somehow resurrected in Dragon Ball GT. Not Boo, but Cell and Frieza. So these three villains are classics, so they should be there. So it's okay. Then we got Mystic Gohan, which is okay. It's not Dragon Ball GT, but it's okay because I think it's the best version of Gohan. The Dragon Ball GT Gohan is super crappy and he's super stupid, and he lost a lot of training, and he was more of a scholar than a fighter. So I think that Ultimate Gohan fits quite well here, as well as Piccolo. So then we're gonna talk about adult GT Goku. I think he's okay. If you have base Goku adult, you should have the base adult Goku Super Saiyan, so that's acceptable, that's okay. But then here, in the left side of this grid, you have Goku Super Saiyan from Dragon Ball Z, with the costume of Dragon Ball Z. So that's completely unnecessary. I think it's complete bullshit. We already have a lot of Gokus here in this game, so adding another Goku from Dragon Ball Z is completely unnecessary and stupid. Then we're gonna talk about, in the bottom row of the chart, we have Future Trunks, Vegito, Goku 4, Super Saiyan 4, Super Saiyan Goku Kid GT, and Super Saiyan Trunks GT. So Future Trunks is okay. He's pretty badass, and he's a time traveler, so it's alright to have a. Even though he's from Dragon Ball Z, it's kind of you can understand that this character could be viable in the GT universe still. Then Vegito, who doesn't love Vegito? Vegito it's KICKASS. He's super cool. Then we have, Goku Super Saiyan 4, obviously, one of the most important characters in Dragon Ball GT. Goku Super Saiyan 4, he's great. But then we have a problem with these two characters left. We have Super Saiyan Goku Kid and Super Saiyan Trunks. So these characters are so lame. I think they're, as I told you before, we already have a lot of Goku versions in this game already. So adding, another one, just a Super Saiyan version of Kid Goku, is completely unnecessary. If you ask me which one you prefer, base Kid Goku or Super Saiyan Kid Goku, obviously 90% of Dragon Ball GT is with base Dragon Ball Kid. So, base Goku Kid. So Super Saiyan version is so stupid. We're gonna talk about now in a couple of seconds which characters I would have preferred this game had. So I obviously would just delete Kid Super Saiyan Goku, and then Super Saiyan Trunks is also very stupid. We already have base Trunks, so it doesn't make any sense to have a Super Saiyan version which is almost identical. The only difference is the swap in the face model and some weird special moves that are just crappy. So that's the original roster. So now we're gonna see here my ideal roster and quite a couple of changes that I would have made. Oh, we also forgot about Vegeta, so we're gonna talk about Vegeta here too. So as you can see, this is my ideal roster of characters. I would personally add these 4 characters and replace some of the characters. So these characters are basically from left to right. We got Ledgic, which was a pretty minor villain in Dragon Ball GT from the first arc, but I think it was pretty memorable, and it's a much better selection than the original characters. Then we have Uv. It's almost a crime not to have Uv in the game. So I understand the original version of Dragon Ball Final Bout was not called Dragon Ball Final Bout GT. The Japanese version was only called Dragon Ball Final Bout. So the developers might be their original idea might not be making a game about Dragon Ball GT, but rather making a Dragon Ball C Buu arc, part mixed with some Dragon Ball GT stuff. So, but yeah, Ub could have been in the game so bad. Then we have Vegeta Baby. So the first form of Vegeta Baby, kind of a Super Saiyan Vegeta Baby. So this version of Vegeta Baby is much cooler than the Vegeta included in the original game. I would have changed Majin Vegeta or Vegeta Super Saiyan 2 for the Super Baby. And then we have Kid Goku, GT Goku, but this time Super Saiyan 3. So we have, if you add a Super Saiyan 3 variation, we are adding much more content and a different transformation than a simple Super Saiyan. So this is gonna be my creation of the chart, my modifications really. So you can see that I changed the Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta or Majin Vegeta for whatever you want to call him for Super Baby. Then I just deleted Super Saiyan Goku Dragon Ball Z version with Uv, and I replaced Super Saiyan Kid Goku GT with Super Saiyan 3 Kid Goku GT, which I think it adds more variation to the game. It adds more variety. In the game we already have a lot of characters that they have Super Saiyan transformations, so adding a Super Saiyan 3, I think it's much more interesting. And then I completely deleted Trunks GT Super Saiyan with Lodric. So this is my ideal character roster. You might be wondering, here I'm gonna show you these characters. So what about these characters? The dragons, the black dragons, Nuova Shenron, which is the fire dragon, or Ace Shenron, which is the ice dragon. Then we have Omega Shenron, we got Super Android 17, and also Vegeta Super Saiyan 4. So and also we have Gogeta Super Saiyan 4. So why didn't I include them? I love these characters, really. I really love them. But the problem is that this game, if we are going to make an imagination upgrade, some what if of Dragon Ball Final Bout, this we gotta be realistic. So this game, if we see here in this release date of Dragon Ball Final Bout on all these sagas release dates, we can see that Dragon Ball GT is composed of 4 main sagas, or 4 main arcs: the Black Star Dragon Ball saga, the Baby saga, the Super Android 17 saga, and the Shadow Warrior saga. So the game was released in August in 1997, so the developing of the game was probably in late 1996 or something like that. I don't know how much time it took to make the game. It's very simplistic, so I think that it was not a long time, even though they were upgrading for a never seen technology. there was a free engine. I don't know how much could have taken, but you can see that the Dragon Ball Final Bout was released more or less in the time where the Baby Saga was. So Super Android 17 and Shadow Dragon Saga was not even created when the game came out. So they obviously were characters that came right after that were not included in the game because they simply didn't exist. So Dragon Ball Final Bout could have included only characters that were mentioned and showed up to the Baby Saga. So that's the Dragon Ball Final Bout content. So that's why I added Oob, Vegeta Baby, Goku Super Saiyan 3 and Electric. If it was for me, obviously I would have replaced some other characters and added these dragons and Android 17 and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta and Gogeta Super Saiyan 4. But realistically, the game was not was already made when those arcs came to be later. So that's the problem. So speaking about Vegeta, Super Vegeta, I'm gonna show you now a little edit that I made from the original game. I took a screenshot and kind of very lazily edited Vegeta with kind of the clothes that Super Baby used in the anime. So here you can see that the colors match the original one with the violet boots and gloves with the light blue trousers or jeans and the red t-shirt. Here you can see and obviously the white kind of purple hair. So here you can see that how Vegeta could have looked with Super Baby looks. So I think it's much superior, it's much original, much more original than the original Majin Vegeta. This one fits better in the Dragon Ball GT game. So I would have loved that it could have included this Vegeta instead of Majin Vegeta. So that's an opinion. And also, as we were talking before, the dragons that if I included the dragons like Nuova Shenron and Ace Shenron, I would have made them like one character but with two characters, if you know what I mean. You just select that character that has these two characters inside. A nice example I'm going to show you now is the Mortal Kombat Deception game where they use Smoke and Noob Saibot. You can see here that we are using Noob Saibot, and with a simple touch of a button we can change between the characters, but it's the same character. So it's one character using two characters. So I would have loved to use this method in order to include the two dragons, but that's, as we talked before, it's not possible because they were not even invented when the game was out. So that's basically it. This is the idea that I want to make, that I wanted to make the video with. So talk about gameplay, features, how to improve it, how it could have been much better if Capcom would have been hired for this game, with the participation of Capcom, injecting that very characteristic Capcom gameplay from Street Fighter Alpha or Street Fighter X or Rival Schools. So I think that with that gameplay of either of those games and with a better character roster, I think that Dragon Ball Final Bout could have been the best Dragon Ball ever, apart from obviously Fighter C. A better gameplay, more dynamic, faster action, and also better character selection. So that was it, guys. I hope you like this video. Probably nobody is gonna like it because it's a very old game and a lot of people don't even know about this game. They don't even like it. And my channel is about hacks and fixes. So talking about a different subject that has anything to do with hacks and fixes and LAN gaming, maybe my followers or people that are interested in my YouTube channel would not be interested in this video specifically. But I thought it was kind of fun to change a little bit from the ordinary. So I hope you like this video. See you next time and stay tuned. Bye. Have a great day.